Hey, how's it going? I hope you guys are all doing well this Christmas break. This is going to be a kind of different video than my other video essays because for one, I'm not writing anything out, and for two, it's going to be a little bit shorter of a video. But I thought it would be fun to just get on here and tell you guys that, I'm not dead and just give you like, I guess, a year in review video about my life and what happened over the past year. It's currently December 28th, 2023, and unless something drastic happens in the next 3 days, I can just give you guys everything that's happened in 2023 for me. This first section is just going to be about me and what I've been doing for this past year. In the years leading up to 2023, after I graduated high school, I really had no idea where I wanted to be in life, and I really didn't want to take classes, so I didn't take any college classes, and I just worked and saved up money up until January of this year. And in January, I hit a point where I still didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, but I was also at a point where if I just work at this place and never take classes to figure out what I even like doing, I'm just going to be stuck in the same place forever. And as an added bonus, I was like miserable during the end of my time because, when you work at a job straight out of high school, you just have that feeling that unless you go to college or some big break happens your way, you're just gonna be stuck in the same place until you die, and that really tore at me for a long time. So I figured I had enough money saved up to the point where I could quit my job and go back to school and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And as of right now, I'm still not 100% sure, but I know that whatever I do is going to involve writing. I like to write, and I like to hear other people talk about what I have to say. And I spent a big majority of my time either hanging out with my friends online or in person, or going on walks with my dog Cora, who's very cute. I'll find a picture of her to put on the video. Or just making these YouTube videos because I discovered that this is something that's really cathartic and I like to do it. And I feel like even though it is a hobby, I feel like the outreach that I have in these YouTube videos is actually kind of big considering how small of somebody who makes YouTube videos I am. Like, when I get like 300 views on a video, it's both very rewarding to me, and also I feel like, oh, people actually, they want to hear what I have to say. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No huge change in lifestyle, but I guess I'm trending towards a better direction in my life. I made some new friends who are very fun, and I would say probably the worst part of the year was when the Dodgers got bounced in the playoffs again, man. God, are they ever going to win a World Series? And, we have Ohtani and Glaz now and Yamamoto now, but there's still that lingering feeling for me, like I don't know if we're going to win the World Series. It's a really tough task to do, and I wasn't born in 1988, so I haven't really seen the Dodgers win a World Series in which everybody can decide, yeah, they are the top team. And as an added bonus, as a Packers fan, I really like what Jordan Love is doing on the team, but also they're not very good, and especially because Joe Barry hasn't been fired yet. That man is a lump of coal on Christmas Day. But I digress, and that's pretty much been my 2023 in a nutshell. And for the next section, I want to talk about my favorites and least favorites of this year. I'm somebody who likes to rank things obsessively, and so I think it will be fun to just tell you guys about my best and worst of the year. So let's start with movies, and for the best movie of the year, I think I have to go with Godzilla Minus One. It's kind of weird for me to say this because I've watched a lot of movies this year, but for me, the only one that made me want to cry in the movie theater while watching it was the one about the nuclear death ray heat beam shooting mega lizard. I don't want to say too much to spoil the movie, but it's really, really good. My only complaint that I have with the movie is what happens at the very, very end of it, and even that, it only brings it to like, I don't know, a 9.5 out of 10 for me as far as rating goes. A couple other movies that I considered for my best movie of the year, I would say Saw 10 is up there, Past Lives, and Air. I really liked Air, and a lot of people say Oppenheimer and Barbie, but I liked those movies. Barbie is like the most 7 out of 10 movie that I've ever seen, and Oppenheimer was good, I just don't think I was the target audience for it. Oh, special shout out, I forgot about this, Tetris. Very, very entertaining movie. Special shout out to that one. But let's move on to some pretty bad movies. And I think actually the worst movie that I watched this year was a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Now, there are movies that are worse quality, definitely, but as far as a movie that there's just a template for it to be good, I would say Five Nights at Freddy's is the most disappointing one for me this year. Anybody who likes that franchise knows that the most interesting thing is not actually the games, it's the lore that comes with the games. And the movie is like 2.5 hours long and covers like zero of the lore. On top of that, it's just really boring, you know? It wasn't a fun movie to watch at all. Like the little dream sequence where the dude's chasing after Garrett, and it's really boring. It's a very boring movie. And the pillow scene, dude, like what was that? Other movies that I considered here were No Hard Feelings, Fast X, and actually John Wick 4. I really did not think that John Wick 4 was that good of a movie. So now that we covered the movies, let's go ahead and talk about some good and bad TV shows. So my favorite shows that I watched this year were not from 2023, but if I had to choose a 2023 show as my favorite one this year, I would probably say Beef. You can tell how much somebody likes a show by how often they watch it, and I think that I watched the entire season of Beef in like 2 days. Again, I don't want to spoil that much about the show for those that haven't watched it, but it really does a good job with the writing as far as creating these scenarios that people go through just because of something as simple as road rage. But it's not like 2023 was bad for shows or anything. I would say that my other favorite shows this year were Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, The Last of Us, Twisted Metal, and I'm probably forgetting something else, like The Night Agent. Yeah, I guess it was good. I'm definitely forgetting something else. Now, the worst show, it's kind of hard to choose because if a show is bad, I'm not going to watch it to the conclusion of the season finale. But there is one show that I did not like, but it wasn't in 2023. You know what? I'm breaking my own rule. I just want to talk about this show. The Time Traveler's Wife from 2022 was a very, very poor show. Anybody who knows me personally knows that two of my favorite actors/actresses are Emily Blunt and Rose Leslie. And Emily Blunt wasn't in this show, but the show was basically centered around Rose Leslie and Theo James. And you know, I went into it expecting that it was going to be just like an okay show, but it was going to be really cute, and it had my favorite actress in it. So I was probably going to like it anyways, but the show was just really, really boring. If we are speaking strictly about adaptations of a movie or a book into a TV show, this show is not a good one at all. But you know, this doesn't change my opinion about Rose Leslie at all. I'll still watch anything that she's in. Again, it's hard to say that shows are bad, but two other shows that I really didn't enjoy were Love and Death and Velma. But now it's time to move to the thing that I'm sure all of the people that have seen my videos before know me for, which is what I think about video games. As far as games that came out this year, again, I didn't play a ton of them, but I would say the one that I played the most and the one that I think is the best is definitely the Finals. It's just so slick with the movement and the gunplay, and you know, it's just something that I could see myself playing for a long time. Honorable mention for this year would be Baldur's Gate 3. I really love it, but I can just only play one RPG for a couple months, and I have to take a couple months off, and I just finished Divinity 2 finally, but I'm sure whenever I get back into it, it's going to be really fun. As far as worst goes, I don't think you can get much worse than Starfield, man. I wanted this game to be good, but you know, every single thing that led up to the game's release just told me that this game was going to be a flop. And I don't know about financially, but socially, flop it did. I saw things about Starfield for about 2 weeks, and then everybody realized that it was a shit game, and it was no more. I don't know how you can make a map that huge and have so little to do other than just your run-of-the-mill quests. Well, actually, you know what? Let me dial that back a little bit. I do know how you can do that. It's just game corporate laziness. Honorable mention goes to Payday 3. I was actually really excited for this Payday, and then when I saw some of the gameplay, I went, oh no. Again, I really don't know how they messed that one up. Finally, music. Music is a really subjective thing, but I guess my favorite song that I discovered this year was The Artist by the Hush Sound. And least favorite song I can't stand whenever I hear it is probably Unholy by Sam Smith. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna wrap up my favorites and least favorites of the year. This is something that I really want to hear your guys' input on what you guys really liked this year, and I would love for you guys to, you know, put a comment and tell me about something that I should check out. And yeah, that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to say in this year in review video. I hope that you guys had a good 2023, and I hope that 2024 treats you better. And have a happy holiday. Stay safe. And yeah, fire Joe Barry. I'll see you guys the next time I make a video.
I think it's just its own thing.
His name's actually Mark Waugh. I thought you guys were just speaking French.
What?